Hey guys, Erin here, making a video today about the sign of Aries, okay? This video mostly pertains to people who were born between March 21st and April 19th, meaning their sun is in Aries. But there's so much more to the natal chart than just being in Aries or where the sun was when you were born. For example, I am a Pisces. The sun was in the sign of Pisces when I was born. But I have a ton of Aries in my natal chart. Mercury, Venus, and the South Node were all in the sign of Aries when I was born. And furthermore, I'm also, the sun was very close to the cusp of the sign of Aries when I was born. So I'm very, very familiar with the Aries energy. Okay, so for starters, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Okay, and that being said, this energy has a lot to do with self. In fact, Aries key words are I am, okay? And your karma here as an Aries, part of your karma here as an Aries is self-discovery, okay? Now, furthermore, when the sun is in the sign of Aries, it's considered exalted, meaning it works with its greatest strength. So there's a lot of strength that comes through being an Aries, okay? Having your sun in the sign of Aries there's so much strength in you if you are an Aries, okay? And furthermore, this is a cardinal fire sign. Cardinal meaning there's a forcefulness to this, okay? And fire is kind of self-explanatory. It's very fiery energy. In fact, energy is what Aries is all about. There's a lot of energy that comes through with being an Aries. And please know, again, that there is so much more to the natal chart than just having your sun in Aries. I know plenty of Aries that are introverted and shy, or super emotional, or things that you wouldn't necessarily qualify as Aries energy, but that has so much, that's all because there's so much more to the natal chart. For just an example, it's like if you're an Aries, but Venus was right next to the sun when you were born, Venus is going to really soften some of this super fiery energy. Or if you're an Aries and your sun is in a strong trine with Neptune or something like that, there's just so much more to it. So do know, if you're an Aries and you're watching this video and you're like, what is this lady talking about? None of these things make sense to me. It's because there's so much more to the natal chart to understand. Now, back to just the Aries energy alone. It's ruled by Mars. And Mars, well, it's kind of considered the planet of war. But please don't get me wrong, okay? Being an Aries gives you a warrior type being, okay? There's a warrior in you. And this has to do with Mars. If everybody has Mars in their natal chart. Everybody has every planetary body in their natal chart. And what Mars influences in everybody is how we put things into action. And it's also it's very much associated with sexual energy as well. Mars rules the sexual organs. So if your sun is in Aries, you may have a very healthy, strong sex drive. And it's very important to be mindful and to be conscious of these things. That's why it's so important to understand your natal chart, so that you can understand that your high sex drive may not, not everybody has a sex drive like you. It's just so important to understand all these little intricate parts of ourselves so that we can work with it and harness this energy properly and use it to our best advantage and to enhance our karma and our overall experience here. So Aries energy, this fiery, sexual energy, there's so much energy coming through here that it can actually lead to aggression, okay? And again, understanding your natal chart you can fine tune how to properly harness all this strength and all this energy that's coming through your Aries energy you can really just learn so much about yourself through the natal chart is what I'm getting at. But regardless, there is an aggression that can come through the Aries energy, and also like impulsiveness, or just high energy experiences. In fact, Aries can even kind of exhaust themselves because of how much energy they have. And on that note, it's very important for an Aries to get their proper cell salt in on a daily basis. Aries cell salt is potassium phosphate, and this can be found in all kinds of vegetables, spinach and lettuce and broccoli, cauliflower, certain fruits, apricots. I mean, honestly, you could just research, do an internet search for foods high in potassium phosphate, and really kind of help keep yourself energized. This potassium phosphate builds brain cells, and furthermore helps the liver function properly. And so that being said, again, back to the Aries ruling the head, this just helps everything function properly for being an Aries. And Aries, okay, let me just explain the Aries energy to you as I know it, as I've experienced it, I should say. As a youngster, as a 6-7-year-old girl, my father used to take me to monster truck shows. And even though I'm very sensitive, I'm a sensitive little Pisces with her moon in Cancer, there was something about these monster truck shows that I loved it. It was just so high energy, like the engine is just revving and the whole stadium rattling. It was like, I got so much, it just such a good feeling inside me in that high energy sort of atmosphere. And so an Aries really might enjoy something like monster truck shows, or even, like rock concerts, or, mosh pits. That kind of thing is very Aries energy. But it's very important that an Aries harnesses their energy and uses it properly. It's important for Aries to get exercise in. It's very important for an Aries to do some form of meditation. This is kind of random, but it's popular belief that the Buddha was an Aries. Because it rules the head, it's like an Aries can actually meditate very, very well. And not only that, but it's so much about the self and being in the moment. And Aries really should exercise and get into some sort of a meditative state very regularly. It's very beneficial to the Aries energy to enhance and benefit their experience here. Okay. Now, Aries birthstone is a diamond. So if you're an Aries, it will really, really benefit you to wear or carry a diamond, especially on your left side. This will not only just bring you like a more harmonious resonance just to your existence and your well-being, but it can also attract wealth and love. Okay. In fact, when there's like a full moon or a new moon in Aries, I always make sure to wear my diamond ring on the left hand. And okay, another thing too is that Aries metal is iron. Okay, so if you can somehow utilize a piece of iron. This is another thing. If you have any way to carry around a piece of iron, especially with a diamond, as an Aries, you will find that the combination of these minerals will just enhance your experience here. And let's see, Aries' luckiest day of the week is a Tuesday. And again, there's so much more to the natal chart to understand. I mean, it depends on where your Jupiter was and everything like that. But generally speaking, Aries' luckiest day is Tuesday. Aries can also have a tendency to have a lot of hair on their head. And if this is one thing that I loved learning about myself. I've got not only long hair, but I've got a lot of hair. I think I've frustrated many hairdressers in my younger years when I'd go to a professional hairdresser because they didn't realize how much hair I had. And it was neat to understand that this has so much to do with all the Aries in my own natal chart. So let's see. Aries is such a strong, powerful sign. It's so high energy. It can be competitive, not only towards other people, but competitive in their self as well. You know, like, I will run this mile in under 6 minutes today, that kind of thing. There also could be a tendency for an Aries to get frustrated when they don't win whatever they're competing in. And again, this is so important to understand who you are and understand your natal chart so that you can work with these frustrations, you know, and have a little compassion for yourself when you are dealing with a lot of aggression. So let's see. That's about it that I'm going to say about Aries for today. But if you would like to learn more about the sign of Aries or anything about astrology, or if you would like to book a reading with me, you can reach me at ErinWaageAstrology@gmail.com. That's ErinWaage astrology@gmail.com. You can also find me. I'm pretty active on Instagram. My screen name on there is imaginal_cell, or you can just find me under Erin Waage and, send me a direct message there. But other than that, I appreciate you guys listening to sharing my knowledge about the sign of Aries. And I hope to hear from some of you. All right. Namaste.